guys, so I was tagged by Jeremy of Mathombooks, a new booktubing channel. The tag is called Inside Out, and it's an acronym, so each letter of Inside Out is a different question. So the first letter, I, is the inside flap, or the back cover. Too much information or too little? I usually skim what's there. If I'm really excited about reading the book but don't know too much about it, I might read less because I don't want to spoil myself. But if I'm not worried about getting spoiled, I might read the whole thing. They are particularly useful in book browsing. If it sounds interesting, I might buy it. But if I'm turned off by that little description, then there's no way that I'm gonna buy it. The next letter is N, and it's new book. What form do you want it in? If you could choose any form, audiobook, ebook, paperback, hardcover, what would you want it in? If I don't have to pay for it, I would probably want a hardcover. But since those usually cost more money, I'm fine with paperbacks. There's not really much difference between those two. As far as audiobooks go, I've never really been the kind of person who listens to audiobooks. I'm definitely more of a visual reader than auditory. It's much easier for me to kind of daydream if I'm just listening to a book. And I rarely buy ebooks, but I did for the last 2 books in the Hunger Games series because I just couldn't wait to find out what happens next. So I read them on the Kindle app for my iPod because I was just too lazy to go out and buy them. The next letter is S. Do you scribble in your books, or do you keep them clean? As in, do you take notes or highlight, underline, etc.? If it's for academic purposes, I will definitely underline or highlight, especially if it's a cheap enough copy. Like this copy of Catcher in the Rye, I have all sorts of notes all throughout the book. Like on this page, this whole paragraph that I wrote when I finished it. But if it's just one of my own personal books and is a nice copy, there's no way that I'm gonna mark it up. The next letter is I again. In your best voice, read your favorite first sentence from a book. So I really tried to find a sentence other than this one, but I just don't think that this one can be beat, at least in any of the books I own. So here goes. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. And of course, if you don't know, that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. The next letter is D. Does it matter to you whether or not the author is male or female? No, it doesn't at all. I'm never like, oh, never mind, that's written by a guy. If a story is good, it's good. Sometimes if I'm unaware while I'm reading the book and then I look it up later, I might be surprised. But when it comes to deciding whether or not to read a book, it definitely isn't a factor. The next letter and the last letter of Inside is E. Do you ever read ahead? I don't think I have, like maybe in a bookstore once because I knew it was a thing for some people to go and read the last sentence. But I try to really avoid even glancing at the next page while I'm reading. Spoilers! Now, while reading Clash of Kings, I did skip ahead to see if a certain character chapter appeared again. I just wanted to know if the character was still alive, so I guess that technically counts. But I didn't really spoil anything because my suspicions about that character were correct. And now on to the last word, out. So the first letter is, of course, O. Organized bookshelves or outrageous bookshelves? My bookshelves are definitely very organized. You can see from my bookshelf tour a few videos ago, and I can't wait to own a lot more bookshelves and a lot more books so that I can just organize to my heart's content. The next letter is U. Under oath. Have you ever bought a book based on the cover alone? So truthfully, no, I don't really ever do that. I might pick up a book and look at it and read the back cover for more information based on a cover, but if I'm not interested in the contents, then I'm not gonna pick it up. Maybe I did back in elementary school or something at the library, but I don't when money is at stake. And the last letter, T. Do you take it outside to read or take it inside? I really like the idea of reading outside on a nice, warm, sunny day in a lounge camping chair or whatever. But it's that time of year when it's not always warm in the shade, or the sun's really bright and I don't want to get a sunburn, or it might be raining and there's like tons of bugs out, etc., etc. So I pretty much just stay inside to read. So that's it for the Inside Out tag. Thanks to Mathombooks for tagging me, and go check out their channel. They reached 100 subscribers in just a week, which is pretty incredible. Like in my last tag, I'm not going to tag anyone specific. If you want to do the tag, just do it. I give you permission. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!
Are you recording? Yes, okay.